in one issue.
Okay, so you worked at Coke Studio and you
Yes.
studied at NYU.
Yes.
How was your experience at both places?
Okay, it's very different. NYU was absolutely amazing because it's New York City, and I got to work with some of the coolest writers. Some of my professors have been so inspirational. There's James McBride. He wrote The Color of Water, and he writes scripts for some of Spike. He's written a script for Spike Lee's movie, Miracle at St. Anne's, and he taught me how to just put my feelings on paper, and I think that's a key. That's one of the keys to becoming a good journalist. When you go with your instincts, and even when you're interviewing somebody, your voice is always there, and you can steer the interview the way you want to. Also, there was a professor, Vivian, and she taught me how to profile people, and that is my favorite kind of journalism: profiling people and finding out about their lives and writing about them. So yeah, some of the best journalists, and plus New York City was our field. We would be sent out there and we would report and write and research, and all of the stories we wrote for practice in class to learn were actual stories, and they were about somebody or about an issue that was happening in New York City. So I think it was probably the best place to learn journalism.
You won an award.
I didn't win an award. I was chosen as one of the best journalists in my year, in my graduating class. We had a magazine that compiled the best journalism produced in that year, and it's called Street Level. And it's edited by a very famous journalist in New York, Pete Hamill. And I had written a story about a Pakistani woman in little Pakistan in Brooklyn in New York, and that story made the cut. So yeah.
Okay. And Coke Studio.
Coke Studio was amazing because I love music, and we were always surrounded by music. And Coke Studio is one of those places that runs on passion. So it was an amazing experience working there. It was, it's not like your regular 9 to 5 job. You go there and you start listening to music and get excited about the day, and then you work with music through the day, and you write to music and you write about music. And then our boss Rohel, he's an amazing music producer and very inspirational, and his wife Amber, who is one of the best editors I've ever come across. And yeah, it was so cool working with these musicians, interviewing them, profiling them, finding out about what drives them to sing the stuff that they do.
Okay. So Anam, do you think there's a scope for writing in Pakistan?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of scope for writing in Pakistan because there are so many stories here. And this is a gold mine for a journalist who's looking to make it as a journalist, and also for somebody who just likes telling stories and likes writing. I think this space is very inspirational, and it's full of inspirational people and untold stories, which is great.
Okay, so Anam, what do you think about blogging?
I love blogging. I don't read as many newspapers or magazines anymore because I follow some really cool blogs. There's some fabulous Pakistani bloggers who really know what they're talking about. There's a blog called the SA Project, which is about art, and even though I think the writer is based in England, she is very inspired by Pakistani art, and a lot of her writing revolves around the art scene in Karachi. Then there is the SWAT's Guide, which is not a blog, but it's a Facebook page. It should become a blog, I feel. Then there's 5 Rupees, talks about current events and politics. And Yeah, these are some really cool blogs that are there, and I think everybody should check them out. Then there's, stuff like Kala Kavva, and
I was gonna say that.
yeah, and interesting stuff like that. But these three are okay. And for my guilty pleasure is this fashion blog called Style Stripped.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so it's really cool, and it's very like, oh, this woman was carrying this bag, and she was wearing this designer outfit,
Yeah.
and it's very superficial, but
You can always dream.
yes, exactly. But it's my guilty pleasure. It makes me happy, and it makes me like, oh wow, I wish I had that. So yeah, it's fun.
Okay. Do you have a message to other aspiring writers?
Yeah, I think the biggest message I have is again, there are so many stories to tell, and also when it comes to writing, what I tell my students is you don't have to pretend to be somebody else in your writing, because I think a lot of readers can tell when somebody is being pretentious. Or your regular reader has become very intelligent now, and they can tell when you're looking at the thesaurus and finding like impressive words to like make your story sound grander. But I think you should write the way you think, and evolve your thought in a way that your writing evolves with it. So and be yourself in your writing. I think that's the biggest advice I can give.
Good. Okay, as a liberated woman and a working woman, do you ever wish you were a boy?
Okay, very honestly, I only wish I was a boy when I really need to go to the bathroom and I'm in a place where I don't have access to it. That is the only time where I want to be a boy. But I love being a woman, and I love being a woman writer, and I love being a woman living in Pakistan. And I think it opens doors for you that necessarily won't open if you're a man. And
okay, your message to the youth.
okay, yeah, my message to the youth is stop taking life too seriously. That's it. Like, once you stop taking life too seriously, you will actually enjoy everything you do. And that's the key to becoming a good writer, I feel, and to becoming a happy person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Anam, thank you for coming on our show.
You're welcome.
For more
I really
Pakistani
enjoyed it. Sorry.
It's alright. For more details, you can visit PakistaniProfiles.com.